RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. We do it relatively daily. Well, I guess we miss Saturday and Tuesdays, but I'm not brief. So sit back, relax. Actually, I'm one of the only guys you could probably listen to this on 2x speed and actually still understand what I'm saying. But at the same time, too, I love interacting with you all on the YouTube page. So the more interactive that you are, I think the better. Often I like to spend these times educating, dropping little tidbits, little nuggets of wisdom. So by all means, if you have journals handy and ready to go, it'll probably serve you well. You never know what little nuggets of wisdom the Beamish will drop on you on a daily basis. Today is, where are we here? I think it's Wednesday, right? TGIW. Hump day, hump day, hump day. Tastes great. Hump day. Can't wait. So here we are, 20th of November. Geez, this month's almost all gone. In 1 week, it will be gone too. So we're marching very quickly. In fact, actually, I was asking somebody about something this morning. And they said, oh, yeah, that was 2 months ago. It's like, where the hell's time go? They always say as you get older, time seems to move faster. And I do see that happen. This year just poof, gone. And it just seems like yesterday, Chris and I were driving down the West Coast. Yeah, funny memories. Anyway, I don't know, Chris. I don't know whether you'll be able to make it out to the West Coast, but I guess I'm heading down to Sacramento again, and I got to buy a certain couple steak dinner here because they seem to be showing up, and they did exactly what I asked them to do.
I should be able to attend that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, you feel like popping out again to the West Coast?
Yeah, why not?
Cool. So there's that, and then really the main event next October. Of course, we're expecting crypto to hit its cycle peak and into October, November of 2025. It's pretty normal. Probably it rolls through the end of the year kind of idea. That's usually what happens. And of course, you know who's going to be out there going, this time it's different. You got to buy the top. Just buy and you'll make money. As soon as you hear that, then we know we better get the hell out. But we're going to be meeting up next October for TRI's market cycle peak. We seem to have these meetups right around the cycle peaks. We had a great meetup. Actually, well, I went over to Europe in 17, 18, I think it was. But we had a nice meetup in Portugal. I think that was through the last cycle peak. We had a nice meetup here in Vancouver. That was through a cycle peak. I like the idea that we are all going to descend on Greece and the Greek Isles. Hopefully the weather isn't too bad. We are kind of doing it off season October. But one of our TRI OGs who actually was in Central America with us last winter, fantastic guy. Like, if you ever want to espouse to be like a man's man kind of idea, hang with Leandros for a while. He's a surfing guru and all. Anyway, we're going to descend on his place in Greece. I can't remember the name of the Greek Isle. So if you happen to be in the neighborhood, and of course, if you are a TRIer, in fact, I already had talked to somebody this morning. It's like, oh yeah, I've already booked my flight, Brian. I'm ready to go. So probably a good portion of the crew that was in Portugal will probably descend on Greece. So it'll be great to see all those people again. And if you want to get to know me in person, it's a great opportunity if you happen to be over in Europe to interact. And if you happen to be in North America, Flight over to Europe isn't too expensive. So especially we should all be swimming in money by time next fall rolls around. So look forward to that. Should be exciting. Um, of course, probably in the near term, although we don't have the stuff up and running just yet, although we better get our act together. But we should have Black Friday events coming up here for you all to be encouraged to consider subscribing to TRI. And Josh and Josh, sort of our marketing front end, working with Sjord here feverishly to build out the screener module and hopefully have a nice little video demonstration of how this works. Josh and Sjord have been working away on this screening platform, built sort of the way that Sjord would like to have this run. So super excited. We got to deliver it here in the next week or so. So that's the big sort of push that we're doing right now. I don't know whether I can do this or not with you here on the fly. I think that still it's being under development. But yeah, I might be able to just quickly show you. Let's see what happens. Survey says key reversals. Yeah, I like key reversals, right? So punch in key reversals here. This happens to all tags. So this is basically all of the different types of markets we follow: crypto, ETFs, Toronto stocks, European stocks, US stocks, Forex, key reversals. And then you scroll down and look at that cute little list for you to consider. Isn't that awesome? I suppose what would be really cool, but I don't know whether we are running out of time. I wouldn't mind having like a little grid box. And actually, I was doing this in the meeting last night. This is so cool. If you're we have a stock pickers club meeting every Tuesday, our secret options formula club. And actually, I even bought one of our secret options formula club stocks here this morning. And I bought another one the other day, so I can give you a couple stock picks if you'd like. I don't know whether any of you buy stock or not. But this was so freaking cool. I couldn't believe it. This would be worth subscribing to the site alone. So I want to just hunt the market for buys. Pull up the breadth indicator. The breadth, you saw how it had basically the whole universe here. And for US stocks following the S&P 500, you can just surf the country funds. Hell, you could just surf the Dow stocks, transports, utilities, currencies, whatever. But last night in the SOF meeting, I just pulled up the S&P 500 breadth, and of course, you hear me talk about this all the time. I wouldn't really say that this is overly compelling as a bullish scenario. In fact, I think it's probably meh. But what was so cool is I just sat there in the meeting last night, and you can see we cover every single stock in the S&P 500, total 503 stocks. And all I did was I just sit and surf through and just said, okay, system, can you please show me some W's? And you can just sit here and surf the entire stock market right there. You can do this in crypto. I mean, this is such an incredibly powerful tool. Maybe you don't want to look at the entire S&P 500. That is a couple stocks. Like all of the various different sectors that we follow, you can just surf them. So obviously, you people all like your crypto, tastes great, crypto top 30. So we'll pull up that list. And there, of course, is your crypto breadth. Again, probably not the most bullish of image from a breadth perspective. Maybe cool your jets. It looks like we're a bit overbought here in the short term. But same sort of thing. I'm a crypto fanatic. I love this little filter that TRI filters basically the top 30 names in the crypto space. And I just pull up the charts and let's go surfing. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning now. Come on in Safari with me. Come on in Safari with me. Jeez, I can't even believe I still remember that. No, I didn't buy Joby. I bought the ADIL and I bought that O stock, right? What was that one? It was like makeup stock or whatever. Oh, it's such a beautiful chart. I didn't even get around to Joby. I should probably go spend some more money. So thank you for reminding me, Cole. But can you see, like, if anything, this is such a great analogy. I mean, does this market look slightly up, right? So if anything, you can pull up this and you can see all of these charts are basically all up at the top ends of the ranges here. And so hopefully when you look at an image like this, it makes sense why the breadth looks the way that it does. Like everything is up at the top end of the range. So not a big surprise, TRI is telling you, well, the breadth of the market, we're slightly overbought right now. Isn't that cool? I mean, this tool is it's built. It's like, oh, thank God, it's finally fucking built. And we're just putting the fine touches on things like the signaling system that you get like a nice email on a daily basis that's saying, hey, you know what? You got a reload zone with a double bottom in price momentum and a double bottom in price itself. You better get in there and buy. But as you can see here right now, and all you longtime followers of me, there's no way in hell I can tell you, oh yeah, go and buy out of here. You're gonna make a lot of money. Sorry. Oh, by the way, I'm on the sell side. I'm selling into your buy orders. So the public, sadly, of course, is coming in and buying this stuff up top here. And if anything, I absolutely love the fact that the basically the breadth indicator is doing its job. And if you ignore this, and especially if you ignore when the breadth readings are actually above 80, if you ignore this, you are just asking for trouble. You really are. And you're not acting very professional in the marketplace. You remember crypto there just about a month or so ago. Everything was at the bottom end of the range, and it was like shooting fish in a barrel. And then we had the election, and the whole damn market jumped up. But you can't chase that now, folks. I'm sorry. That's a big hands off now. I mean, hands off on the buy side. You want to sell into the rallies? Great. There's nothing wrong with that. Profit's a profit, but I would be very careful about buying too much stuff right now. In fact, you know what? This is probably a good opportunity to talk about what is it I am interested in. And, what you will see is generally a consistent theme from Brian. So if we look at the stock market, there is that, I think this is, I'm not quite sure if this is a makeup stock or I think it's in like the hair products or something along those lines. Which is terribly amateur of me to be even talking like that. But look at the chart. I mean, the chart speaks 1,000 words, right? They always say a picture says 1,000 words. This chart is absolutely beautiful. And actually, what's really interesting about this, of course, is you've got a very pretty double bottom here. So when I pulled this chart up this morning, I said, I'm actually more than happy to be long off of that W. And also too, remember where is this happening in context of where the stock has been? Look, zoom out. Is there any room to make any money here? Well, does this stock have any ability to move higher here? Look at these gaps. Hey, there's Joe. Joe, what's the let's see if Joe put Joe on the spot here. Poor guy. What's the statistical probability that at some point down the road, this gap at $24.48 is going to be filled in? So this is Cole. This is the hair stuff, right? I didn't do the bull call spread. I didn't really want to do an option trade on this. I just looked at the chart and I went, fuck it, just go and buy the damn stock. 91.2. Very good, Joe. It's pretty close. It's somewhere around that number. So hats off to you. I take my hat off, but of course I haven't. It's looking a little actually, speaking of which, and you know what, I'm gonna leave it up to the group here. So we got about 25 people watching the video right now. The Wall Street Silver people reached back out to me and asked whether I should go on their channel again and do another video with them. Did you guys get any value out of me doing that with those people before? Should I do another video with those people? I'll leave it up to you guys. If I get more than 5 people that say, yes, Brian, go and do it, I'll do it. If you're like, nah, that was a waste of time, Brian, don't bother, then I won't. What do you think, Chris? What do you think, Meg? Should we do another? Did either of you watch the little thing that I did with the Wall Street silver people in the past? Probably not.
I have not gotten a chance to take a look at it, but totally up to you.
Both of you. That's funny. So you can see how riveting my social media presence is. No, sorry, Brian. Not interested. Are you kidding? I don't want to I have to listen to you 2 or 3 hours a day. You're actually expecting me to listen to you more in the day? What are you, crazy? Uh, oh, Adam says he liked it. Oh, there you go. And Adam, what a sweetheart. Adam actually told me about a name you want to see. So along the same themes as buying these kind of stocks. I mean, what do you think the odds are that this stock here at $1.82 is likely to go to $3, right? Because I guess what 360 will be our double. So what do you think the odds are that this silly little stock, buy when it snows, sell when it goes? What do you think the odds are that this stock will trade to that level, right? Double our 182 purchase. I guess 164 there, right? What do you think the odds are that that stock at any given point in time trades to that level, considering where we've been over the past couple of years on this thing? So hopefully you can understand why a guy like me would step in on a name like that. There's also another one that I bought that looks almost identical. And another one of these pharmaceutical stocks. If anything, if the economy is going to kind of flounder a bit, you should consider buying these kind of names. And you see the silly stock, they rolled the stock back. So I don't know whether that 120 is very realistic. I know people in our stock pickers club, they will actually just use the range from where it actually split. And you can see there's a big juicy gap right there. So my hunch is we probably rally up and fill that gap in. But I bought 500 shares at like $1.06, sitting at $1.02 right now. What do you think the odds are that this thing will trade back to? Remember, there's the gap at $4. If we get $4, that's 400%. I think we'll do perfectly fine there. But what are the odds of this thing getting back to $2.12? Again, buy when it snows, sell when it goes. They've just rolled the stock back, so there isn't much stock out now. What do you think the odds are over the next, I don't know, 6-8 months that we get a trade back up into this level here? I'd say probably pretty good. And this is the hallmark of what I do. So all right, Rocky says yes, do it. All right, well, we got, and Adam, you said you liked it. Does that mean that you want me to do it with them? And Guilt, is that a vote for me to do it? I don't know whether that's a yup, if that was answering a question that I posed earlier, or whether that was yes, go and do the thing with the Wall Street silver people. Well, Meg's coming right out of the gate with the potty mouth here this morning. I don't really hear Meg swear too much. So I'm not going to repeat what she posted in the Zoom call here. But let's just say she's not impressed with social media. I guess not. No, I don't. Poor kids. But it's all good. I used to say, and it used to, I used to say, and I still do, because we're 24 years into this and nothing's stopping. But if we could get to the point where Liam would turn to me and he would go, "Fuck you, Dad," I would be like, "Woohoo! Yay!" That would be a huge achievement for Liam to actually get to the point where he could verbally express his anger with me in words. That would be awesome. So just goes to show what living a life with autism is like. Yeah. Oh well. It is the life that the good Lord has cast upon me, so I have no reservations whatsoever. It is my life, so, and it is my poor baby's life. So anyway, okay, so we've got I think a vote from Gilts. We got a vote from Rocky. We got, I guess, a vote from Adam. So we got three. I said if we'd have five people say do the interview, then I will. So we're at three. Interesting. I guess not that many people tune into those kind of things. Okay, so here's an example of another position that I picked up from my own personal account here this morning. I always love going in and buying these stocks cheap, and then I sell half on a double. I get your original capital back. I mean, I think I probably have about 500 stocks in my registered account, and like 70% of them are all being rolled back. But because I sell half on a double, I don't even really care. It's just get your original money back and then just throw it on the pile. And if the stock goes to the moon, great. You make a pile of money. If it's rolled back and it's a different company, well, so what? And if anything, I love, uh, I have my registered account at this one particular bank here in China. And the only reason why I have it there is because they actually charge you monthly fees. Oh, there's another one. All right. So we got it. We're up to four. One more person says do this Wall Street silver. What's it called? Wall something Wall Street silver or something. Anyway, one more person tells me to do it, and I'll do the interview. So anyway, I will. Oh, there you go. Boom. All right. Now I'm screwed. All right. Oh, there we got another one. And yeah, and what we should do is everybody who voted here, give me a topic of a rant that I'll try and sneak in there on the interview. Although I have to refrain from swearing too much on these things because the public does watch them. Anyway. Okay, so we'll put that conversation to bed. Heard your votes. I guess we're going ahead with this. I'll send that guy an email when I'm done here. Hopefully you see the kind of stuff that I'm buying here in the stock market. I like to buy cheap stock. Look to sell half on doubles. Gave you a couple ideas there for you to chew on here. The pharmaceutical stock ADIL. And then we had another one. We'll leave all that stuff there. And I suppose it's a bit amateur of me. We should probably give you a better little description of this company. I tell you, the group was actually pretty impressed. They kind of like this idea. So, what the hell? I thought this was going to pull up the company's website. I don't know what the hell this is. It's going to take forever to go through. I don't even know what this page is. So let's move on. Anyway, I give you a couple little penny piece of shit stock ideas for you to chew on. Tell you, there are some bigger stocks that look really interesting, but unfortunately, I can't chase a stock that looks like this. If we do get a pullback into reload zones against all these lows here, sometime over the next couple months, I might go and strap on some of this. That's a good looking stock. And actually, here's a good example of a chart that looks almost exactly like this, but after the fact. So I picked up some of this DocuSign, and you'll see it's basically the same stock. But, it's such a big move, you can't even see it. But that's basically the same chart pattern. And I couldn't buy there, but I bought the breakout here. So we're up a nice chunk of money on this trade. But you can see this thing's got forever to go. I'm in no hurry to touch this whatsoever. And you want to see like a good after the fact kind of idea. I picked up some of that the communications services ETF. I think that's what it calls. I can't remember what the symbol is. I always do this. Communication. There it is, XLC. So remember that docu chart. So in essence, I did exactly the same thing right here. So our little SOF club meeting, we identify reload zones. They pulled the market right back. Nice little double bottom right here. And again, same sort of thing like you saw on the DocuSign and on that square. And I went and bought. In fact, I think it even says here, bought the weekly W 5240. So I don't know. You tell me, is this, if you're trying to learn how to invest and how to trade and how to make money from trading. I mean, is that the kind of information that you're looking to learn? That's pretty good trade, eh? I feel pretty impressed with my performance. The only issue here is, can I please have $104 so I can sell half on a double, right? And get my risk-free trade and all that kind of fun talk. So anyway, just goes to show, what if you can just let your money work. Wow, away you go. And actually, I even put this out as a question to the community. I had an interesting level 3 class. The reason why I don't do the videos on Tuesdays, yesterday's level 3 class was 3.5 hours. And I'm the type of teacher that I don't really like stopping talking until the conversation is over. And I absolutely hated like sort of, right in the middle of a thought, and then all of a sudden the school bell goes and the teacher's like, that's it, punch the clock, I'm the fuck out of here. And like literally doesn't even finish the sentence that they were in. I'm not that type of teacher. And when you come to TRI to learn how to trade, there is no stopwatch. If you actually do believe in us and you take your hard-earned money from your wallet and you give it to us to teach you how to do this, we are going to keep working until you get this information. That's the whole point of all this, right? Trying to make a positive difference in this world. And the level 3 students, they learn this in spades. I don't teach all of the level 3s, all of the levels anymore. I think Grim does an absolutely fantastic job with the level 1ers. I think Marat does a beautiful job with the level 2ers. And ironically enough, actually, we have a second options course, a level 4, that our old level 3 instructor is now teaching option spreads strategies and trading. Zach, absolutely love working with Zach. In fact, if we're really lucky, we'll be able to get a house over there in Hawaii over the next 24 months or so. And I do like the idea that we do like a once a year retreat back to Hawaii. This place that we're looking at acquiring is just going to be absolutely gorgeous. I would love to actually do the option spreads course actually live in person with Zach over there in Hawaii. So actually, I'm super excited, and I love the team that we're working with. These people are all beautiful people; they really are. Have I mentioned how much I like Chris? I mean, Chris is such a man. He's such a good person. Like these people, and I think this is half the reason why actually I can stick around doing this is because I think Spirit just surrounded me with people that are just really, really good, solid humans. Because I think Spirit wants me to continue doing this. And there's no way in hell I could do this on my own. No way in hell. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Meg. Meg's in here, right? She's swearing like a sailor. But still, just beautiful people, right? And her husband, Casey, also great guy. Actually, a lot of you over there on YouTube. I mean, you were just so awesome, you people here. I'm really, really thankful to have all of you in my life. I really am. I can't thank you enough. And I will say that when you come to TRI, you're not really sold anything. I mean, if you want to learn how to trade, we have the education program, but it's basically cost. I mean, nobody's making a fortune off of running these education programs. It's bare bones. Cost a fortune to keep these damn websites and all these services and stock quotes and all that shit going. And of course, our poor developer, Sjord, working on his own just because we're running like a skeleton staff. So we'd love to have you on board, but we're not going to give you the hard shell, the hard sell. We just won't. And we don't promote anything. What we do promote at TRI is we all are working together, right? And I show you like the ideas like ADIL and the little hair stock OSPR, OLPX kind of idea. And if Like fuck the other day. I think I did it on the public broadcast. I can't remember though. But did anybody take advantage of that damn backed? Holy crap. And oh, by the way, Brian missed the whole bloody trade. And I come on the damn site and everybody's like, whoa, what a call, Brian. You're fucking the boss, man. Holy shit. People are making money all around me and I never bothered taking the damn trade. Oh, why can't I find this stupid thing? So I think I mentioned this to all of you. Did I not mention this in the Saturday show? I seem to remember I did. I know I mentioned it to everybody on the site. And of course, all of our, OGs. This is a perfect example of what I do. I mean, that's a weekly price chart. You want to see how crazy this thing went? I mean, that's the daily price chart. And I even mentioned the fact, especially for our level threeers, I even mentioned the fact that these guys had warrants. And look at what this darn warrant did. It was 10 cents. And I remember specifically talking to you guys when it was 10 cents and I was humming it on. Do I buy it? Do I buy it? And the goddamn thing went all the way up to $1.76. That's 10x right there. Fuck me. That's 400%. So there you go. Kitchen and craft, right? The Adam Nguyen's banged out a double. This is what I do. All right. And Quinn wants me to do the silver show too. All right. This is my gift to all of you. It really is. This is my gift to you. Yeah, I've been doing these damn shows for like 10 years straight, every single day. Never miss a meeting, never miss a class. I think, actually, I can't say never. I probably missed 1 or 2 days over the past 10 years. So, and the interesting thing is that this is actually the window for us to start making some killer money in this. Look at that. Cole says your consistency is unmatched, sir. Yeah, thank you. Cole, you're pretty damn consistent yourself. This is that should we show him the name that we were looking at last night? This is the name I was touting the group. Joby, you heard Cole mention Joby. Look at that son of a gun. And you look at this chart and you go, well, what's so damn exciting about that, Brian? Right? This is what the public would see. They go, I don't know what the hell you like about this darn thing. But just look at this. Is this thing got any room to move up? You tell me. Thought this thing was quite, yeah, there we go. Is there any, I personally would like to be long off of this W down in here. So I don't think I'm going to go and chase up here, but we were also looking at the warrants. And look at these cute little warrants. Any money to be made there? So again, I don't think I would chase this. So be careful. Don't go and chase. But you see where the W's are. You want to throw in some stink bids? That's an idea. I can't believe how this back performed here over the past week or two. That's crazy. Holy crap on a stick. So, this is the buy when it snows time of year, folks. So I certainly hope you are putting your dollars to work in the marketplace. I gave you 2 ideas there just a moment ago on I'm actually putting money to work, put my money where my mouth is and letting it go. Can't touch this thing now. It's gone. So, oh, well, too bad on that one. Anyway, we probably don't have to spend too much time here. I'm not quite sure why I went down this tangent here today, but I hope you got some value just looking at some of these little stocks that I'm interested in. Looks like crypto stocks catching a bit of a bid here. Some up, some down though. Kind of a mixed bag. Good old Sailor's doing his crazy thing. I don't know whether I would be interested in something like that now. Interesting how ETH can't seem to find a bid here, eh? I do find that a bit odd. And I suppose if we go over to crypto proper, we can take a look at some of the charts. Well, the little short demo trade that we put on through the summer there on ETH, it's still working. I mean, nothing has changed there. Anyway, why don't we actually, if you do own any of this Teva, I noticed Teva jumped up quite a bit here recently. So I bought some of this around $10. So actually, I probably should be trying to sell half here. But anyway, there's another nice looking trade. All right, where am I supposed to be going? Oh, we also talked last night about the uranium stocks. It looks like the uranium names are starting to catch a bit of a bid. I can't buy something like that there, but I'm long this guy from I think this breakout here. So anyway, it is what it is. But keep an eye on uranium. Kind of looks interesting in here. Let's see. Okay, so we should probably let's try and hit the reset button and start this over and do what way we're supposed to do it. So first things first, we should probably look at the breadth, give a half decent idea. And I started off the conversation with showing you a little bit about how to use the breadth and how to really take advantage of this resource. I think on balance, it looks like the Dow's kind of just hovering mid-range. I wouldn't really consider Dow stocks overbought or oversold. And my hunch is, and again, this is such a great application of this platform. You can just pop on over here. And if you're like, well, let's see what these Dow stocks look like. And my hunch is we probably don't see any W's. It's probably a lot of wishy-washy after having a little bit of a rally off of the lows. That's usually what happens. And I don't think I'm going to be like overly compelled to do anything. Yeah, I mean, look how far away Apple is from its 200 SMA. Keep in mind that this Apple could do exactly what Amgen just did and have to go to its 200 SMA and might even have to go substantially beyond. So that's not a name I would be interested in. That actually looks kind of dangerous. No, yeah, that actually looks like a bit of a short. No W's there. Coming back against the bottom end of range, but nothing to get excited about there. V top, nothing there. Nothing really exciting there. I mean, where are the W's? I'm sorry. I want to buy W's. Where are the W's? Dow Inc. I don't know whether Dow's actually in the Dow anymore. I think that's like Dow Chemical. So, but you can see there's nothing really here that's going to get me excited. Actually, maybe IBM. You might want to keep an eye on that. See if this thing can actually W out here. See the moving averages turn back up. But really, on balance, just not seeing much to get excited about here. I don't know. Does anybody see any W's working? There's a little bit of a W that came in on 3M there a while ago, but now it looks like it's emming out. And of course, very expensive. No, I mean, it's just this simple. All you got to do is just surf through these things, just looking for W's. And I don't see a single one here, right? Isn't that cool? You can look at the whole Dow and Dow Jones Industrial Index just in one screenshot like that. So cool. So, as W's go, didn't really see anything there. I do remember last night I posted a couple charts in the SOF club meeting that kind of stood out to me. Let's see if I can find them. It's one part of the market that actually looks really interesting right here are the utilities. And I did find it interesting. We do have one algo that we're running and collecting the data on the site right now. If you feel like participating in the algo trading, feel free to consider joining the school program, or I guess the pro package membership that will have a Black Friday deal for you shortly. What I wanted to show you, I'm not quite sure where I can show you this though. On a daily basis, I get a nice polite email from TRI saying this is spitting up buys, this is spitting up sells, etc. And then I sort of keep track on a list. And I thought this was interesting. We had a nice little W in RSI. You know how much I love the W's in RSI. W in price, obviously, buy level, and boom, outspits a 2-to-1 risk reward. This is basically algo trading 101. So interesting to see. I'm seeing a lot of utility stocks actually doing really, really well here. And this signal was generated back on November 13th here just recently. I wanted to show you the spreadsheet. There's some really, really cool examples. I think it's this one here. some really cool, like I'm a huge fan of key reversals. Here we are. And there was one trade in particular here that was just so beautiful. I mean, like if I was going to teach a course on trading, this one right here, TSN. Don't even have any idea who the hell this is. TSN, but the system just spits out these buy and sell signals based on 90-day bullish RLZ with RSIW and key reversal. Whoa, do I ever love key reversals? So here is the actual signal that the system generates. Tyson Foods, that's what it is. Look at that key reversal and look at what the stock has done. I mean, when you see these key reversals off a really good trade location, wow, what a trade. So as you can see on the notes, I was like, huge win. Oh, it's just so beautiful. So this is like the trading view chart that I keep track of performance. This is exactly what I want to see. If you ever see a chart like this, beautiful RSIWs breaking out through the moving average, nice trade location against a bunch of lows, big fat key reversal, and look at what the damn stock's done. Just jumped right out of there. That's why we built this system. So super impressed. Anyway, I'll be working away on filling out this data set. I was actually pretty impressed when I did the data set last update before the election. I've been a little bit sloppy here since middle of October. We're actually producing some pretty darn good looking results here, but I got to update this since the election. I've gotten a little bit overwhelmed with a number of different trades and stuff. So anyway, point of the matter here is, and really good example. This also can be configured for crypto. So if you're interested in crypto, this was a crypto signal that came in off of the exact same algorithm. This hunted basically a fractal bottom there, but trade location, beautiful W's and RSIs, fractal. And you tell me, is that the kind of trading information that you want? We're fast approaching. This is now the 16-to-1 risk reward ratio. We hit 2-to-1, we hit 4-to-1, we hit 8-to-1, and now we're approaching the 16-to-1. F me. I mean, that's trading like a boss. Holy crap. So what's super cool is that this algo works in really boring things like utility stocks. Oh my God, put me to sleep. Or crazy ass things like crypto, shitcoin, Solana, in Australian dollars, no less. Which I thought that signal was so cool. No, we don't want you to buy Solana in US dollars or Chinese dollars. We want you to buy them in Australian dollars. Why? Because the Australian dollar is an absolute piece of crap. And, I mean, we're here to make money from trading. So if we have a currency or an asset that's priced in one currency and the currency is absolutely falling apart, well, obviously the asset's going to go up even more in that currency because it's got to offset the currency change. And actually, a really good example of that is what I've done here on the Canadian stock market versus one proxy is the stock market priced in Canadian dollars, and the other proxy is the stock market priced in US dollars. And you can see, I mean, why on earth is this moving up as much as it is? All right, and we'll just go off of this low here, right, which corresponds with these lows here. Yeah, let's go off of this low, right? What the hell? So here we're up 15%. Then you go here, and we're up. Oh, actually, that's not bad. 17%. Oh, okay. Well, so actually, it's not too egregiously out of whack. I got the impression. I wonder what I'm missing here. Something doesn't sound right. Because you can even see visually, this looks like it's moving up way more relative to this move. And actually, maybe it's more relevant to look at it like, through this move here. Maybe that's what we should be looking at, there to there, and then there to there. Because this is where the currency, the Canadian dollar, just really started to fall apart. And yet here you can see that's about, maybe about 70, 75% of that range. So that's just a really simple illustration of what currency, falling currency versus US dollar can do to your asset. And that's why I made reference to Solana in Australian dollars. I don't think that this is done as well in US dollars, but as I showed you there a second ago, the Australian dollar has just fallen out of bed here over the past month or two. So anyway, food for thought. All right. So breadth. Oh man, maybe I'll finish the whole video here just talking about the breadth. You could make the argument there's actually a double top breakdown working here. So I don't really like the look of this. This isn't the kind of market that I really want to go and rah pound the table to buy. And the cool part about this is, because we cover like the whole universe, we can actually go back and say, okay, well, what does the US stock market ETFs look like, right? We've got ETFs. I think we cover like 40 or 50 different ETFs. 48 different exchange traded funds. View grid. And actually, I think we even have a sector that's just specifically stock indexes. I think this is a great place to start if you're thinking about, okay, where do I want to have my money working in the world? And I suppose we should probably add the IBIT to this list so we can include Bitcoin in this study. And really all we want to do is just can somebody please show me a W in price here? Like things like Taiwan. Maybe let's just avoid that with these big fat M's working. That looks a bit dangerous. I see a lot of markets that are just, they look horrible. Can't touch any of this. It's all just pointing down. Where are the W's? What the hell's going on here? And actually, it's interesting. Some of these bond ETFs look kind of interesting, but these thing here, like 7 to 10, looks like it made a new low. This guy here, 3 to 7, looks like he made a new low. So I can't even really consider those guys. This is what I like to do with the group to just oh, hello, there we go. iShares 1 to 3 year Treasury bond ETF. Can you see the little double bottom that's working there? And actually, this makes sense because what part of the stock market would be very, very sensitive to short-term interest rate movements? The utilities. And what are the utilities doing? They're rallying. So obviously, the utilities are seeing this. In fact, actually, if we go back to the actual breadth right here, I go with breadth. And what a big surprise. Let's go and look at the utilities. And what does the breadth of the utilities look like? And oh, what a surprise. That actually looks like it's bull. Isn't that interesting how that works? I'm not really that interested in the Dow, especially with this M top working here. But I am very interested in the utility sector if it keeps Wing and breaking to higher highs and higher lows. And then, if you're interested, okay, well, let's go take a look at what these utility stocks look like. And we can actually, there's only one in here. Probably want to have more stocks than just one in a sector. So you can say, never been closer. But how about Dow Utilities? This will probably give us a better proxy, hopefully. Not quite sure why that's in there. Hey, there we go. We got 15 different utility stocks, right? And of course, there's the double bottom. So you can see exactly where the buy came in right here. And of course, that makes sense, right? Following the election. But let's go see what some of these utility stocks look like. I absolutely love just, you can surf the whole stock market here. Look at this AES. You can see a double bottom trying to form there. You could put him on a radar screen watch. American Water Works. Looks like there's some sort of W working there. Oh, look at that. We got an upside engulfing bar on Duke Energy. Look at hey, there's a W on Edison International. So there you go. Merry Christmas. Nice. Oh, look at this. Exelon. I think they're in the nuclear business, aren't they? And that would make sense because nuclear stocks and uranium and stuff, you even heard me at the top of the broadcast talking about that. So there you go. There is actually a double bottom. Oh, look at this. Next Era Energy. You can see the W coming in as we speak. Isn't this cool? The irony of it all is if you know what to look for in the market, this tool, it just makes finding ideas so easy. Look at this Southern company. You can draw a trend line off of that peak. W's on other sides of trend lines. You can see it forming here. Super cool. Well, anyway, not a big surprise to see some of these utilities moving up, considering that we saw that the bond ETF was looking like it's trying to bottom. That makes the short-term bonds, I should say. Interesting. JP Morgan US dollar emerging market bond ETF. Look how it's trying to bottom here. So I think we are just in what we have done here today, looking at the breadth indicator and seeing the W working there and it not being like egregiously overbought. Then us seeing the US Treasuries, especially this short-term proxy right here, 1 to 3 year, putting in a cute little double bottom. And then we go over to the utilities and you see the Bud W is working there. I think we're getting a pretty clear message from the market here, what part of the market you should be interested in. And unfortunately, it's not like, hey, go buy the tech stocks, you'll get rich. I don't see anything like that here at all. There's another one, utility sector select spider fund. Look at that W. I mean, isn't this cool? I got to say, this makes life pretty easy. But unfortunately, the message here, and actually this is a little bit of education for you. If we see the utilities outperforming, what part of the economic cycle does that mean that we're in? And unfortunately, you're probably not going to like seeing this. Good old stockcharts.com. Good old John Murphy's website. I always like John. Good guy. Then we will come on here and we will go perf charts. I think that's what we want. Then we want to come down here and we want to go predefined group, S&P sector ETFs. All right, there's our histogram and we have the economic cycle. So where are utilities, which seem to be outperforming right now? Oh, they're right here. And actually, this is interesting too, because if we actually go look at a heat map of the market right now, and this is when I looked at it first thing this morning, but let's see if it's the same message here now. When I looked at a heat map this morning, when watching the stock market here with the day trading crew, look at that. I mean, tech, and interesting in our little news summary piece there. What's happening today? Chris reminded me that we actually have Nvidia earnings after the bell here today. And I have talked to all of you recently about my thoughts on what the semiconductor sector looks like. Let's see if we can get some feedback from the audience here before I show you. Can anybody remember, am I bullish or bearish of the semiconductors right now? This is your opportunity to interact with me, people on YouTube. Well, Meg's swearing again. Meg's a little fiery here this morning. I think that's too difficult. What are you swearing about now? That's great. I absolutely love having you people in my life. I really do. Thank you so much for all being in my life. You actually give my life some meaning. See, the problem is with Liam, you never get any feedback from Lily. Hello, Jim and Liz. Can you answer the question? I could spend all my time with Liam and we never say a single word. Or he does his echolalic thing, which is sort of the way that he talks, but we don't really quote unquote talk. So I was agreeing that spirit wants you here. Oh, really? Oh. Yeah, you said, God damn it. Wait a minute. It's so funny. I mean, I'm not going to name names, but it's hilarious how we have one Jewish guy in our community and he loves, anytime he gets upset, Jesus Christ. He's saying it every bloody day. I find that amusing. Anyway, I digress. I'm getting off topic here. Okay, what was the question again? What does Brian think of the semiconductor sector? Is Trump going to go and buy back? Is that the story? Leading indicator, yeah, it is a leading indicator, but I've been barking at you guys for a while about what I see on the semiconductor chart. Maybe let's start this off a little easier for you. Does anybody remember what is the name of the semiconductor index that is, like you said, Adam, the ultimate leading indicator in the stock market? Anybody know what that is? And if you don't, bad sakes, half of the reason why you're listening to this is you're supposed to be learning. Anybody? Really? Nobody? All right, well, here we go again. The SOX index. And what did Brian say is working on the SOX index? Now, this is SMH, which stands for semiconductor holders, something like that, ETF. These Van Eck people came up sort of out of nowhere over the past 10, 15 years. Forever, it was always called the SMH semiconductor ETF. Then these companies sort of like, I don't know, they hijack these ETFs and strap their name on them for advertising purposes. Anyway, there is the SMH semiconductor sector ETF. You can see it's got pretty well-defined double top working here, and it has a harmonic pattern. As I said earlier, Chris had reminded me that Nvidia's earnings are coming out after the bell here tonight. So, if they knock the cover off the ball and they make a ton of money, whatever, this thing will go crazy. I would actually argue it has a double top working. It did have a double top working, which was a head fake. So it'd be interesting to see whether this thing actually works. I do remember the other day I walked you through this, that 2-to-1 risk off of the top, map out 50% of that trade, and if we happen to trade back to the entry after hitting 50% of the trade, then you probably should just walk. So this trade here, it looks like this was stopped out at scratch. So not really much to get excited about one way or the other here, unfortunately. I don't like that about these trade things. You notice that really all they're doing is they're just mapping out what the close level was. But as we said, we hit 50% of the anticipated move. Your stop should be at scratch on that event. And you should have been stopped at scratch here. Interesting how all they did was just fill in the gap. And I suppose you could make the argument, like on, say, a 4-hour chart, that actually all they did was just rally it right back up into the peak, and anybody who wanted to short. And really, I wouldn't fault you. Like this would actually probably be a good trader's trade. The issue here, though, is you're going to have to be pretty light on your toes, because obviously when the earnings number comes out, things could get a bit violent here. And you'd have to be able to have access to a brokerage account that you can trade after hours. Don't take this shit lightly, people. This is professional stuff. So, but I could very easily see 78.6. Counter trend rally back up against the top end of the range. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 highs to work against. So you hit that 78.6, and you strapped on a new short there, and same thing, 2-to-1. This new setup here would just be something along these lines. I always think it's a good idea if the trade goes at least 50% of your direction, that you move stops to scratch. So then that way, if the trade kind of like this, if it comes back against you, you just walk away, and next bus in 10 minutes, not that big of a deal. So there is roughly 2-to-1. There is 50%. So this is the same scenario where now your stop would basically be at scratch, and let's see what happens. But interesting how we banged up against that 78.6 there. That actually looks to me like this actually looks like a trader's trade here. And, really the simple message, aside from the move stop to scratch and all that, the simple message is you're going to take a short shot against this top. Can't seem to move that, which of course is irritating as hell. You're going to take a short shot against that high, and just risk to new highs there. Right? Simple as that. So it is what it is. I have I haven't got a clue what the earnings number is going to be, but let's just leave this on the screen and let's see what would have happened tomorrow. It's a trader's life. You don't know what's going to happen. Um, yeah, I mean, I think if this was me and I had put this on, I definitely would have my stop at scratch now and just live with the results. So, yeah, like I said, what I do like is maybe sell half of the position at the 2-to-1 profit objective. It would have been nice that this thing just went straight there. It might even, I mean, what is it? It's 10 o'clock now. It might even just go there now, right? I mean, you can see the gap before the earnings even comes out. You don't know. I mean, the whole stock market doesn't look very happy today, so we'll see. Um, and if you do see this 2-to-1 hit, I like the idea that you sell half of the position at the 2-to-1. Your stop, of course, is still at scratch because we already traded through 50% of the anticipated move. And at that point, you just let this thing go. And, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you don't. Nobody really can predict the future in this business. I've never seen it possible. 35 years playing in the stock market, never seen anybody who can do it consistently. So I could very easily see this stock have to head all the way back down to 119. And if you took that trade and you let some of it go at 2-to-1, your stop's at scratch, and you have that, then all the chicks are throwing their panties at you because you're just smarter than shit. Yeah, but it's just a trader's life. And this is, interestingly enough, if you do fancy yourself a trader and you want to get involved in this business, this is the kind of uncertainty that you have to live with. No idea what's going to happen here, but you've set yourself up now, theoretically. If this thing comes back against you, you get stopped at scratch, and it's an open-ended profit opportunity. If this thing pukes out, then you look like a genius. Yeah, business as usual. I don't know whether I would be really interested in hunting setups against this guy per se. I think I would prefer, me personally, just to, if I was bearish of the ETFs. Remember the other day we had talked about AMAT and how these semiconductor material stocks and what's the word? These kind of companies make the the products and the machines that go into making semiconductors and stuff like that versus actually making semiconductors. So that's an interesting looking chart. Huge bearish signal. I guess it wasn't a total key reversal, but massive breakdown here. It's a V top. Would have been kind of tough to take that, but I wouldn't be surprised if actually there was a half decent bearish bot setup working here. So like something there to there. And we'll go Zibat setup and 3366. So that's valid. And then we'll clone that. And then we'll go over here and throw on Zibat levels and boosh. And there you go. It would have been difficult to get in on this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Maybe impossible. But anyway, downside targets, A, B, C, D. I don't see any reason why we can't come down here. And if this thing really gets going and it's an alt A, B, C, D, well, boy, man, we got a long way to go to the downside. So I have no idea what's going to happen here. Having said that, very difficult for me to be bullish in the face of this thing basically making lower highs and lower lows. We did have a site member who came on and talked to you all about how he is bullish of AMD. And, if anything, this is everything that I like about the market. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. They can have an opinion. I can have my opinion. We can live in the same world. We don't have to come to blows. I personally, on something like AMD, I need to see this thing recapture this up downtrend line, beg your pardon, and actually put structure in on the other side of this trend line before I can get bullish. All right, well, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Not something I could touch. I did go and buy a little bit of this intel for my registered account, but the only reason why I did that, and I told everybody on the site, is because they're basically throwing the baby out with the bathwater. This stock has done nothing over the past 20 years. I mean, there's 2000, there's the dot-com peak. Here are the lows. There's George Bush Jr.'s phony baloney made up war in the Middle East that sort of kicked off the fuck you world that we've lived in over the past 20 years. This stock is basically just sitting right at those same levels. Like it just hasn't done anything. So it's not necessarily like I'm like, oh, this is a great momentum buy. I just think that this stock is cheap relative to where it's been. And kind of like the ADIL and the little hair products company that I bought. This one isn't nearly as pretty as those. But is it realistic to maybe think about like something like a 50% retracement of this most recent move? I think that's realistic. Is it realistic to even think about a 50% retracement of that move? And that actually gives me a double, and I can sell half on a double on any kind of test of those highs. And I might even argue you can just simply draw a simple trend line. At some point, this stock probably wants to come all the way back up here. I suppose from like a momentum perspective, or if we looked at like the AMD kind of story, from a momentum perspective, I would prefer that this thing actually get on the other side of this downtrend line for me to actually turn like uber bullish. So you heard me barking about Intel in the recent past, and you're like, well, that guy said he was buying it. Yep, I did go and buy so for my retirement account. But hopefully you can see this buy is just based nothing more than the fact that I think that this stock is ridiculously cheap. You know how much I love buying 78.6s, right? That was the ADL, the ADIL, and actually I even bought a cryptocurrency that looks almost exactly the same as this. I mean, this is why I call it my favorite fib. I absolutely love 78.6s. So if I can actually buy below, and I did, right? I bought around $20, $21. I'll do that every day of the week. But this is not a quote unquote trade. You know, like a trade, which I did this morning in crude oil, right? This is what a trade has to look like. You got to force yourself to come in against the top end of the range and risk to a break of new highs. And then when the market gives you the opportunity and it dumps back against the lows, you got to pay yourself. This was a really, really nice trade here this morning before the EIA report. I was actually in this trade shitting my pants because here was the EIA. And I was like, I got to be out of this trade by the time that comes in. And you can see the volatility that came on the other side of that EIA report. So I'm pleased as punch that I got out of here. If anything, this is a good example that if I had traded multiple contracts, right? You let one go. This is an absolutely beautiful inside bar there. It was absolutely perfect. I'm quite proud of myself actually for this trade because then when the double top came in, that meant that we could draw fog and bombs, and I just placed my take profit order at 2.618. And on this one candle, we came screaming right down into my level. I got filled. The low of the bar was 25. I couldn't believe they actually gave me a fill here. And then the thing just jackknifed away. And you can see how much. And then there's the EIA report. And look at it, went all the way down there. But then instantly it came all the way back up here. So after all of that, I was like, you know what? That's probably not a bad level to consider taking some profits on. So I was super, super pleased with that trade. That trade actually went very, very well this morning. So, but that's a trade, right? Do you see how this is the top end of the range? I'm coming in, shorting against the top end of the range, and I'm just looking to take profits. And really, ironically enough, this was the magnet that I had in mind. And then we went after the stops, right? And that's exactly what happened here. They went after the stops on the insanity. I get my fill right at 2.618, and then we go into chop Vegas here for the next few hours. That's pretty typical of trading. But that's a trade. Right? This Intel, this is just simply coming in against the bottom end of the range and just nanny nibbling. I don't know whether we even want to use the term little old lady. I'm so pissed off at that guy for basically like stealing that concept. Anyway, you all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, but this is not a trade. This is just simply I went at the bottom end of the range. I just went through some in my retirement account because I think that that's a cheap stock. So I hope that helps. As I had said there a moment ago, I'm not overly impressed with the semiconductors here right now. And as sort of a leading indicator in our economy, the fact that the SMH looks like this right now, I mean, who can finish this sentence? Let's see if Jim and Liz can finish this sentence. What are we supposed to think if we ever see the market smiling at us? Is that a good sign, or is that a, uh-oh, we better be careful? It's right there. Yeah, good if you're a bear. Anyway, so as the ultimate leading indicator, this thing's looking a little dangerous. Oh, nice answer, Prince. The other company, and I'm not quite sure why I took it off here, because I wouldn't mind also having it on here, is that ASML, right? Because that is a good proxy on how things are going over there in Europe. And also too, semiconductor. So I think a very good sort of leading indicator for the broader economy. How am I going to do this? Let's go like that, and then let's go like that. No, that's not what I wanted. Like that, and then let's go like that, and then let's go like that, and we'll go. Oh fudge. Well, I guess we don't really need all these indicators on here. So let's go that, and then we'll go like that, and then we'll go remove indicators, push, gone. All right, and then we'll go like that, and we'll go ASML, and we'll go like that, and then we'll go like that. And I hope you all enjoyed me talking to myself there. New pane below. There we go. All right, so we'll keep these two on side by side. And unfortunately, you can see here, this ASML does not look happy at all. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is a good sort of, I think this is the European stock. I could be mistaken, but I think it is. I think this is Dutch. Anyway, it's making a new low here this morning. AMAT's making a new low here this morning. Semiconductor equipment manufacturers not overly happy here. Yeah, look at that. We might even see, as I was speaking away with you, keep an eye on this Nvidia. You might even find that this thing dumps into these lows here, heading ahead of that earnings report. So anyway, all right. So the ultimate leading indicator in the market is not looking very happy. Well, what do you think about maybe looking at the semiconductors on the dashboard, Brian? Maybe that'll help us. Oh, you know what? That's a good suggestion. I'm glad you suggested that. Spreadsheet. Where is the website? Nope. 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 Is this it? Hey, there it is. Cool. All right. So we looked at the utilities. They look bullish. And remember, we were looking at the sectors. Did anybody answer the question? What are we supposed to think? I remember we looked at the market carpet, and we saw that the market carpet was looking a little. Nope, that's not the one I want. Where's the market carpet? Should be on my crude oil page. That is there, and there. So everything's blah, except Eli Lilly. That's interesting. That's a health stock, isn't it? And UNH, that's a hospital stock. And who's this guy? Humana? Oh, that's a hospital stock. Molina Healthcare? That sounds like healthcare and hospital-y type stockies. So this is where the sort of hot part of the market is right now. And, again, going back to that conversation, do you see sort of confluence of market messages here? Remember, here's technology way over here, and the semiconductors are breaking down. So we're not in this part of the cycle. Utilities, we went through the exercise of seeing how all the utilities are pointing up, and some of them actually look like buys. And the short-term bond market actually looks interesting. And lo and behold, here's healthcare, looking uppy. Is it worth our while? And what was the stock that Brian bought? Let's see if any of you can remember. What sector was the ADIL that I bought this morning? What sector are they in? Anyone? Bueller, Adamowski, Adelson. That's right. Well, you're close. There you go, Meg. It's a pharmaceutical stock. That's kind of interesting how that also happens to correspond with that. I don't know whether that hair care products is a consumer staple though or not. It might be. Be interesting to see where that hair care company falls. It might fall under consumer staples. I don't know. Anyway, so it's interesting how we're getting confluence of message here. The market kind of thinks that we're here. And what does this sort of mean? We're at full recovery, the start of a bear market, and then we're heading into early recession. Really? Oh, Shiite Muslim. And what's actually interesting is that we're starting to get inflation data coming out around the world that inflation has not gone away, folks. So a lot of times real estate and financials and stuff, they'll do well when it's perceived that the Fed is actually done raising interest rates and they are officially now going to go on the interest rate cutting path. And if you think about it in simplest terms, what this is really saying is that the cost to borrow money on the short end is going to be coming down. So financials, of course, they continually borrow on the short end and they lend out to the public on the yield curve. And what we're seeing from our dashboard message, things like utilities and things like the short-term interest rates, the ETFs, the utility sector bottoming out. And then remember, we were looking at that bond market, 1 to 3 year treasury bonds bottoming out. That to me sounds like the yield curve is flattening. And that usually happens when we go into recessions. So that's kind of interesting. Again, that does not help technology sector. And it does validate what I'm seeing out of things like the SMH. That looks, SMH is the ultimate, obviously, technology proxy. So let's maybe turn our attention elsewhere. And maybe let's take a look at how all of your favorite, and also keep in mind too, before we leave this conversation, is this energy market actually bottoming out? I mean, God, the political rhetoric around the world, I'm actually surprised there haven't been mushroom clouds going off around the world. This is technically a bullish engulfing bar. It's not a key reversal because we didn't open up below these lows, but it is a bullish engulfing bar that is a very powerful candlestick message. I think in the near term, it looks like top of the range, bottom end of the range. So that means if you want to be a buyer, you should be buying down against the bottom end of the range. If you want to be a seller, you should be selling up against the top end of the range. So right here, we're kind of like in no man's land, kind of middle of the range. I don't think you're going to get any help here out of crude. I think the energy markets are kind of parked. But what we did find last night, which was interesting, and it also corresponds with where we are in that economic cycle picture, is we did start hearing people talking about natural gas starting to perk up a little bit. And natural gas usually does better when we're heading into sort of recessionary environments. So, it might be worth our while. Just take a quick boo. Let's see what, I mean, look at these uranium stocks. They're just booming. But what does the natural gas ETF look like? Oh, is that thing trying to bottom here? Usually these things bottom at the bottom, or natural gas does well if we head into a recessionary environment. This looks to me like an inverted head and shoulders. It's interesting. We had this conversation last night, though, and our head and shoulders expert, David, he was kind of like, actually, I don't think that this is the right shoulder yet. He thinks that they're actually still trying to find the neckline here. And I guess today's rally makes sense. And now we should actually see the shoulder start to form. And if anything, this is also good too. Like if you're a fan of that ICT guy, this is a really good concept in that market structure shift. So lower highs and lower lows defines a bear. Higher highs and higher lows defines a bull, right? Higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, I'm a bull. Higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, I'm a bull, right? Rah, rah, rah. So this level right here, super, super important. And I've often noticed when I talk with David, our head and shoulders expert, he gets all excited when I thought I had it on here. Why do I not have it on here? Just maybe I have it as just a ray. He gets all excited. There it is. When you have this type of head and shoulders, where this is actually kind of like a megaphone, where this, sort of right hand side of the neckline, if that makes any sense, is actually higher than this high. Because what it implies is Mr. I can't even remember what his name is, ICT guy. I think it's Huddleston or something like that. Anyway, he likes it when this bearish structure is broken. And then all you do, and the way that I do it, it's not the way that he does it. Like I think he does this thing called like a fair value gap, which I think you could see is probably that. That's probably a pretty good example of that fair value gap kind of concept. And there's probably another one that's up in here somewhere. I don't know exactly where it's going to be. It might even be that gap. I don't know. But the way that I do this, and it's not really ICT, but it's just my personal experience working in the market forever, is when I see his ICT market structure shift signal, then at this point, what I do is I just simply draw a reload zone and notice 61.8. In this case, it's a little bit higher than the double bottom breakout, but I would have no problem whatsoever taking a long shot down in the reload zone down in this area right here, kind of like where you see the little icon, or what is that drawing right there. So I'm going to be watching this natural gas pretty closely here. And also, too, we should probably be keeping an eye on all these funny little anti sort of stock market plays that all sort of play off of this natural gas. And, we're going to reinvent how energy works and stuff. So like Plug Power, I mean, you tell me, has this thing got any room to move up? These things do well in the recessionary type environment. There is 2000 and there's the sickness, bullshit, nonsense world. This is everybody locked in their cages, and the economy is doing nothing. These companies don't make any money, but hey, Greta loves them. They're great PR. We're going to change the way the world works and save the environment. It's all a load of horse shit, as you can see after the fact. It's all bullshit. But at the same time, too, can you see how we just play this same game over and over and over and over? And if you can just force yourself to come in and buy at the bottom ends of ranges when the market goes stupid like this, of course, then you can get rich. And there's a bunch of these that look like this. BLDP, this is the one in my country. Same thing. It's almost laughable. These companies never make any money, but because they're going to be doing things that will put the oil business out of business, then they must be awesome. And when you get into this environment where everybody's locked in their cages and the economy's not doing much, these stocks can go absolutely crazy. And so here we are back at the bottom end of the range. I don't necessarily think we have an outright buy signal here. I mean, where the fuck are the W's? This has been just a train wreck the whole damn way. But at the same time, too, at some point, these things, the path of least resistance. This is like that ADIL that started to bottom out. And when I saw the weekly W, I stepped in and pulled the trigger and bought some. I think I actually did do some accumulating on this thing up in this area here. I might go and buy a little bit more of this, but it's that same sort of idea that you're buying against the bottom end of range, waiting for the stupidity. If I'm not mistaken, I think Cole is looking for the fucking world to fall apart in the middle of March. So maybe write that down. That was a topic, a conversation that we had in our meeting last night. And I will say, man, it is a lot of fun, these meetings. And anybody who's a site alumni, if you can participate in these meetings, it's such next level shit. I mean, we were looking at all the celestial events that are happening. This happens to be your beloved Bitcoin. Interesting how these cycle pivots. This is in essence next October, November, when I'm fully expecting the market to peak. And this is that March window that, like I said, Cole's expecting the world to shit its pants through that. The interesting thing about this cycle, though, is you'll notice that if we look at the previous cycle, you can see the same sort of behavior. There was the first peak, and then the market had to take a bit of a pause, and there was the second peak, and that's the peak that I was referring to earlier. Leandros over there in Greece, we'll all be over there in Greece eating our gold-plated vacas next October. And that's where I plan to sell Liam's Bitcoins and go buy him a nice house. And he and I will just retire off in the Canadian countryside. So that's kind of this is all about celestial relationships. I mean, I'm not going to get into this. If you are a site member, if you're an OG, you have access to the SOF room. I think Cole posted the video. I don't know whether he did or not. No, Cole, you didn't post the video yet. We did have the meetup. He drove the bus yesterday, and it was a great meeting. I love our crew. We have such a cool crew that meets regularly. And Cole drove the bus last night. You can see some of the ideas that we were kicking around. I think this is actually is that the Joby? We talked a lot about this one last night. What is this? CX app. Oh, this is a different one. So, I mean, hopefully you see this is everything that we teach at TRI. Try to buy against the bottom end range when this thing pops. I think it's a little bit expensive for me. I would personally prefer to come in down here. And I think this is a warrant too. So just be careful if you don't know what warrants are. Actually, no, this looks like it's the stock. So don't worry about the warrant there. 22 cents, 26 cents. That's what the stock price is. Or Cole, you're there. Is this the warrant or is this the stock? Anyway, yeah, there's a little treat for you. And I think I have on these Wednesday shows mentioned ideas of Cole's. I think Docu was one of his. And of course, we've done rather well on that one. That's that guy up there. All right, nothing really to it. Actually, interesting. I might even go and buy the option that I wrote here on this thing. We banged out a nice win, 30% win. We still have one spread on, which is we're long one call and we're short one higher up call on this. And Alibaba has just melted right back down following the sort of the pre-election pump. And I think I might even just go buy back the option that we wrote because it's trading at a fraction of a dollar now. And then just ride the free call. We've got a call that's good till next January. So, if this thing does get its act together, great. We'll let the call kick ass. But if anything, this was such a good analogy of everything we do at TRI. And I might, if we do get back down to my favorite fib, I might even just go strap the original trade right back on. So anyway, we'll see what happens. It's interesting how the news and the scuttlebutt is they can't quite figure out whether Trump and Mr. Xi are getting along or whether they're fighting. The market can't quite figure that out right now. All right. What else should we look at? I guess, yeah, that's probably it for the stock market. Good old Bitcoin. We'll do a little summary of crypto and then head on our merry way here. Ye old Bitcoin. I mean, we should probably I think it's a good idea that you preface all conversations about Bitcoin here with where are we on our 4-year seasonal cycle. And really, you can make the argument we can apply the same logic to the stock market. I haven't done one of these studies off the stock market, but I don't see any reason why. And actually, this should be like as there. I don't see any reason why the entire risk landscape. And keep in mind, this is ebb and flow, right? Nothing ever moves in a straight line. But I don't see any reason why this whole risk market can't work its way higher here over the next year. And, we all know it's probably going to go up, down, like that kind of thing, right? That's usually how this stuff goes. So look to sell into rally peaks. And if you want to reload, second cars, third cars, fourth cars, look to reload on pullbacks, but don't buy peaks and then panic sell troughs. That's what the public does. So you have to position yourself that when assets are booming higher, you make darn sure to sell into rallies. I think where's a good example of that? Actually, I think I even did this on the ad. I'm surprised that's not on the screen. Well, I know I always put tweets out. I know it's in the newsletter. I think I forgot to put the newsletter on the website though this week. I was always forgetting something. Let's see if I can show you that on social media. Do I have it over there? Well, I guess we'll go like this, and we'll go like this, and we'll go like this. I think it's a good idea to establish risk-free trades. Once you have established that risk-free trade, I don't care what the hell you do with the rest of your money. It's your money. It's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. Obviously, if the asset's moon and you've held on to the free stuff, then hey, Lambo's on you, right? And if this stuff goes off the board, well, so what? Not that big of a deal. Didn't have any risk. Like I said, I even put a snarky tweet out here, right? I'm playing with the market's money now. That's your money. All you people watching YouTube, because you come in and buy these up markets. I don't know why you do this, but you do. So I'm playing the market with your money now. But the interesting thing is now that I've got this risk-free trade, and this is a very good example of what I do, come in, buy against the bottom end of the range. And then, of course, if the asset doubles, let them have half. And then who cares what happens with the rest of this? What's fascinating is hopefully you can see this is a big honking W that's trying to form here. And it has actually confirmed today. Look at that. So tastes great. And this, of course, is where all the, Bitcoin maxis and all that kind of stuff, they look like idiots. I don't think I personally think all of the crypto is basically the same. If you believe in Bitcoin, then there's no reason why you can't believe in these shit coins. It's just, they all move at different times. And you know how this goes. Let's see if anybody's listening over there on YouTube. The always rises. Yeah, as soon as you realize the way this game works, it's just a food chain. It's nothing more. Bob Lucas just released a new public video. All right, well, there you go. Thank you, Constantine. I'm not calling this poop or good or bad. It's indifferent to me. But just try and remember that, especially when we go over to Solana land and you see what's going on over there. If you see that market going crazy, then you know that probably the next thing we should start seeing is Gucci sweater wearers and all that kind of nonsense. But the point here is, have we been given a fairly significant message from this asset by it breaking this high here today? Hint, hint, hint. Yes. If I ask a question like that, the odds are probably the answer is yes. And now let's do a quiz here. Just take a guess. Where do you think something like a 877, which is usually what these things run to, if we start going into an insane bull market and into next October, I fully expect that. So we're just take a guess. Just guess. Where do you think, with the asset sitting at 79 cents, where do you think 877s are off of this entire range here? And keep in mind, this is an absolutely huge W. That's in there now. Thank you, Sting B. I mean, we'll just zoom out and let's see where the hell this damn thing is. This is a good example, right? You want to sell half on a double. Make sure you get yourself into that risk-free trade. I have no risk here whatsoever. Where did the screen go? There it is. And now I am just going to let the market pay me to get, how did that go? Let the market make me rich. I have no risk here whatsoever, as the message said, and it wasn't received very well because you guys didn't really like it. I'm playing with your money now. I don't care what happens here. It's not my money. I mean, it is my money. Don't get me wrong. These are my coins, but you get the idea. I don't have any risk here. Where the hell is this damn thing possibly going? And this is where most new people do investing. It's too hard for them to envision this, but I fully expect somebody write this down. Maybe let's circle back when we're in Vaca land and we're all eating our gold-plated vacas next October. Do you see what the hell they have planned here for this damn thing? There's 877s. There's trendline resistance. That's a long way up. That's how you get rich at this crazy ass game. Try and force yourself to come in at the bottom end range, let a little bit go, get your original capital back. If you want to reload and add a second car on every time it does these dips back down into reload zones, great. You could be like Adam. You could have like 5 billion of these things when it goes up into the top. And FYI, I would consider this like medium grade shit coins. I wouldn't consider this, a blue chip. And I don't even know whether I would consider Bitcoin blue chip, but anyway, that's another conversation for another day. I definitely think Bitcoin's heading higher, and like I told you earlier, and what's so cool about this is Bitcoin's 90 some odd thousand US, but actually in China, actually Bitcoin is this my Chinese? No, this is not my Chinese. Anyway, I had Bitcoin in China here somewhere. And Bitcoin in China is actually like 130, 140,000, right? Because the currency is fucking collapsing here. So there's Bitcoin in China, it's 130. You can see where my near-term targets are. I definitely like this as sort of a profit objective into that inauguration date window, which would be sort of like right there. And I also like, as I showed you earlier, coal has an eclipse window coming up here. And I believe it or not, and I have no idea how this is going to play out. Nobody does. Don't get into the business of predicting the future. Just get in there, buy at the bottom ends range, sell halves on doubles, right? And then just live with whatever the hell happens. I definitely like the idea of the market actually working up into this irrational exuberance window. I'm not quite sure whether we can actually hit these levels. That might be a little bit aggressive because you can see all the divergences and momentum that are starting to build here. I think this move is getting a little exhausted, but I definitely like the idea of this market working up into these price objectives into that inauguration window. I definitely like that. I wouldn't be surprised just in the near term, and keep in mind, this is the China D, so this is slightly different. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do something like Colin and his pump chasers. You've often heard me say wicks and tails like to be eaten. So you can see there's a whole bunch of trap bears in here that would love to get released. And I wouldn't even be surprised if this actually looks like left shoulder, head, neckline. So that means we need to have a dump back down into the neckline, then a counter trend rally back up to do the shoulder, then another shoulder. And also too, this is your ICT guy kind of concept. If we close down in here, that would be closing below there. And then that would set up something like the Mountain Man trade. Where's Mountain Man? There it is, right there. So looking to maybe look for if you got like a nice rolling top up here, then that actually might actually represent a half decent short trade setup. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's nowhere near there now. And that's a whole bunch of if. But I'm just going to simply say here in the near term, obviously, terrible place to be a buyer. Here was your election coming right there. Remember election night, we had great little setups that were all firing. And then we talked about this sort of trend continuation trade as we work our way higher. But you can clearly see now, MACD is basically forming, I call this a potential divergence right now. Willie is officially stupid on the daily charts. So nobody has any business. It's at minus 10, right? This is a Williams percentage R. It can only go to 0. Here is, and that's not even a really good example, but you can see on the Williams percentage R, that's minus 99, right? It can only go to minus 100. So we're running out of room. In fact, the raw index, it actually, like you see the teal number here, it's actually sitting at like 5. This thing can only, I mean, you can see this. We're definitely at the top of the range. This is the reason why I built this indicator. I guarantee you, if I was a retail stockbroker, my phone would be ringing off the hook with Captain Willie. That's who I named this off of. He's a crazy character. He used to drive a tugboat up and down the Fraser River. And he would be the guy who would call me up here and say, I gotta buy Bitcoin. I gotta buy. And I'd be like, man, you're being stupid. That's why I call this indicator. When the moving average goes above minus 20, this is stupidly overbought. And you are asking for trouble coming in on the buy side there. Now, maybe it's just something like I really want to buy, and I just got to wait for it to get out of that overbought zone. That's fine. But while it's overbought like this is stupid, and you are asking for trouble buying up there. You really are. Will anybody listen to me? I doubt it. Most of the people at TRI, and actually most of the people that watch these videos, actually, I think you guys all act responsibly. I don't think any of you, I mean, I can't speak for certain, but I don't think any of you would be like, oh yeah, that's a low risk place to buy Bitcoin. Sure, why not? That's asking for trouble. You're gonna get in trouble. It might not be today, but one day when you go in and buy with Willie Stupid like that, you're gonna be handed a gift where the market just destroys you. I'm not making any predictions here. All I'm saying is all the tools that I have built and studied over the years to try and keep me out of trouble, they are all warning, do not touch this thing here. So go figure. What I found interesting about this whole rally, this kind of surprised me. Ethereum just has not participated at all. And I do find it interesting that funny little demo short trade that we put on at the top of the market here back, and that was in June, it's still working. And what's freaky is I even mapped out talking on social media that, geez, it kind of looks like we're doing something like this. And lo and behold, look at what we're doing here. Now, if this was all equal, we should have actually made another push to new highs here. But Ethereum just can't seem to get out of its way here. I wouldn't, you can see the bot setup that we had talked about recently. And this is sometimes the danger of front running the bot is you might just, yeah, I'm going to front run the bot because I got one low, two lows, three lows. Looks like a double bottom's coming in here. Nice reversal bar. I'm going to pull the trigger and go for it. And if we break this low, you better get the hell out of there. So, front running the bot sometimes gives you a smaller risk window, which, can mean that you can make more on the upside relative to risk taken if we do actually trend higher. But this thing just can't get going. And that's not a good sign. That's Oh, sorry, there was a little glitch in the matrix there. So something's just not right with this Ethereum here. And I suppose now you could argue up, down, up, fail. We can actually start drawing some Bombs here. So that means that 2.618, which would make sense because all that's going to be is just a revisit of this trend line. Makes perfect sense. Then you have to start worrying about, okay, well, if this trade level fires, that means we break through this low. And if we break through that low, then that means that those Bombs start firing. And oh, what a surprise. 2.618 is against that trend line now. Are we into one of these goddamn bow tie damn things again with that Casey guy and his you might find that this thing violently swings now back down the other side of the bow tie. You can see we kind of left the bow tie top here, but I've seen this happen before. It really doesn't surprise me. But don't be shocked. It is interesting how this trend line now is the initial objective. And if that fires, then this trend line now will be the secondary objective. And interesting too, notice how 2.618 and 4669s are actually pretty closely aligned here as well. So, there's just nothing for me to do here on something like Ethereum. It's way too expensive for me to think about buying. I think I've told all of you, I actually even have bids on this thing working, and you're not going to like me at all for saying this, but I've got bids working right down here. And I am more than happy just to sit here and do absolutely nothing. And, if this is a bear A, B, C, D, well, it takes price down into here. And of course, there is the order working. And I have stink bids to actually buy Ethereum, like actually invest on basically a serious test of these previous lows. Not really shocking. Right. I mean, you can see the double bottoms, right? Basically back against the original bottom. We'll see what happens. I do find it fascinating. I said that I was just going to leave the rest of that trade on. It's the 1/8, right? Put the trade on there, sold 2, bought half of the position back on 2 to 1. Everything I tell you to do. Ironically enough, this trade is actually the exact same as that crude oil trade that I showed you. The only difference on the crude trade is that I'm only trading one contract because I want to start building up some serious equity on that account before I start taking serious risk and doing multiple contracts. Because, multiple contracts, if you get stopped out, man, you can lose a lot of money really quickly. So it's usually a good idea to have like a nice big cushion. But this one here, ideally, I would have done multiple contracts, taken one off, stop at scratch on the remainder, and I'd still be short one more contract. But I only did single contract here, and what the hell, made money. I don't really care. So, but the point here is, could have, I suppose, taken all profits at 2 to 1. Here we took half profits, then another half of the position down at this 877. So 4669 let half of it go. 877 let the other half go. And we still have our stop sitting there on this trade up at the scratch level. I have no idea what's going to happen. And none of you know what's going to happen. And don't con yourself into saying that you know what the future holds. Nobody does. That's why we trade setups. If we see a bunch of criteria, location indications, indicator indications, Price structure indications. Well, then we have multiple unrelated reasons to justify acting. And hopefully over time, you've seen that when you have all of those multiple unrelated reasons to justify acting, and you do act, kind of like up here, location, indicator confirmation, price structure, multiple reasons, unrelated. We know that if we get that kind of failure in reload short zones, the odds are that this is going to happen. And sure enough, that's exactly what did happen. And that's a trader's life. Trade setups. Put your opinions away. Your opinions are worthless. Setups are priceless. So anyway, point of the matter here is, why is Ethereum underperforming? And of course, I think it has everything to do with this piece of wonderfulness. I might argue that this thing actually has a pretty well-defined bullish bot working. It had moved stop to scratch level on a test of the previous highs. We broke through that. Of course, if you're algo trading, you're not long Solana versus US dollars. You're long Solana versus what the hell currency am I long? Australian dollars, because I trade my algo and I'm the boss. But anyway, it is interesting. You could be trading the algo and enjoying that trade, or you could take it really simply, and this is a higher time frame. This is our bot setup that you just manually map out here. And it's just A, B, C, D. Regardless, this trade's just working away, doing its thing. No reason to even think about changing attitude opinion here. There is no top. And I might even argue trade location, AB equals CDs. That, ironically enough, if you're a harmonic person, this is actually where you start having the conversation about hunting a trade, because this is a trade location. It's called a potential reversal zone, PRZ. Let's do that. And let's go like that. And let's go like that, and that, and that, and that. And there you go. So, I don't know whether I've drawn this exactly accurate, but you get the idea. So there's no reason to think about a short trade setup there. And I still think that this long setup is still working away. The breakout, I mean, this was beautiful. 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows, 4 lows, 5 lows, 6 lows. This is getting ridiculous. Look at the beautiful neckline. I mean, look how the market itself set this trade up. I mean, this is what I find fascinating about trading using this bot setup, is you can literally see, why did the market rally up to this level and then stop, and then rally back to this level and then stop, then rally up to here, then put in a double top right off of that level? I mean, who is it that's drawing this level? And then here we are here. It did it again, then it did again, then it did it 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 again. Oh God, this is getting exhausting. I mean, talk about a level. Holy crap. Anyway, so the point of the matter here is I think that this is working away. And if you're long Solana, fucking enjoy the ride. Interesting too. Remember my conversation earlier about where is that ADA likely to go? 877s. Look how we banged into 2.618. We had to take a pause. Then we ran up into 4669. Had to take a pause. Do you see how that we sort of stair step our way higher from one fog and bomb to the next to the next? So I have very high confidence that this thing has to get up into this 877. You can't buy this here now, though. It's too late. And in fact, if you did take this bot setup, 66% means that you have to actually start locking in profits, right? And I use the 3 high low method with students. So I'd say something like, okay, well, there's 1 low. Then there's another low. And there's the next low. So at this point, even though I am technically able to lock in profits, if I use the 3 high low method, my stop has to be below where the entry break even level is. So my stop even now is still sitting at that break even level. And what I would suggest here is, if you do actually see this thing go and M out, okay, well, that changes the conversation completely because the M actually potentially initiates a new downtrend. But my hunch here is that what's going to happen here, think ICT and all that kind of conversation. As long as this thing keeps painting higher highs and higher lows, there's no reason to step in front of this. So as it stands right now, like 1, 2, 3, stop still at scratch, I would just simply just be patient and wait for the next higher low to be established. Then if we do something along these lines, keep in mind there's the bot profit objective way up there. Then if we do something along these lines, then you'd move your stop there, and then move your stop there, and then move your stop there, etc. And as we just keep making higher highs and higher lows kind of idea, you just keep moving your stops up appropriately, right? And of course, you've got your AOCO order. Maybe sell half of the position at the bot target and just keep working the stop on the remaining as we move higher, because you never know. I've shown you repeatedly, a lot of times these symmetrical ABCDs, boom, 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 can often turn into alt ABCDs. And oh, look at that. There's a big 2.618 floating out there. There's a 1688. Although Eddie gave us some math, we have to maybe alter our Foggenbaum chaos theory levels beyond 877. Eddie gave us, and actually I told everybody in the SOF club meeting last night, so they've all sort of created Eddie fib studies based on math. I don't know, Eddie, if you're still over there, but everybody in the SOF club now has your levels. So what I actually did was I even created an Eddie chaos theory, and those are now actually some new chaos level theories that we have to include into our thinking, and they go way, way, way up. Hey buddy, good to see you. I sure hope to goodness you're going to be in Greece next October. If not, I'm going to come over to Romania and pick you up personally and drag you to Greece. Anyway, so I think that this guy's eating Ethereum's lunch, and so that's half the reason why Ethereum's just not doing much here right now. I suppose finish off this look at crypto, something like the total. There is that same respective bot entry level, move stop to scratch, move stop to trailing. I won't go through all of it. You know how this works. I think we have got an 877 here. We also have a midpoint of David's Foggenbaum's. He likes to use this 3.64 midpoint a lot. I thought that was interesting that it aligns there. And of course, we have the bot objective. There's also this 4669 floating out up top here. So I am still looking for the total to keep pushing its way higher. But as you can see, the divergences are starting. And usually they start with these Chaikin money flow index. Usually these are the first indicators to go into divergence as sort of the volume interest starts to wane here. And you can even see volume impetus, OBV, all that kind of talk. Something's not right here. You can also see MACD is actually put in a div. And lo and behold, our good old buddy Willie is officially stupid. So when Willie is stupid, you better cool your jets. So that in itself has got to be a warning sign that, and of course our talk about Nvidia, semiconductors, where are we on the economic cycle and indicators and all that stuff. Well, maybe it makes sense that maybe crypto needs to take a bit of a pause. We've had one hell of a rally here, folks. And then, remember the dashboards, right? It's so cool how all of this stuff all aligns. So, nobody should be surprised, especially when we look at crypto breadth itself. I mean, we can look at the breadth in total, but crypto breadth, is it telling us that maybe you better be a bit careful here? Yes, it is. It's screaming at you. Maybe you better be a bit careful here. It's not short category, but it came damn close, because look at this. At this point right here, remember we said if you have medium term that goes overbought and short term goes overbought, that's an outright sell. So we got close. Look at that right up top there. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, short-term overbought. Medium term came pretty damn close. What is that? Oops. Where are you here? Right there. Come on, you. Quit fighting me. The 11th. Isn't that interesting? Right on Remembrance Day, too. I swear this site sometimes using this charting package that we use drives you crazy. All right. And over there and there. There we go. Yep. So you actually officially, if we were going to a TRI, actually officially issue buy or sell signals in the market, this, my friends, unfortunately, is a crypto is officially overbought. Leave it alone. Sucks, but it's the truth. So I'd be very, very careful here. The broader market looks very, very suspect. And then, of course, we had that long conversation about the semiconductors. So interesting. There was the 11th there. So as of that point, TRI's breadth indicator is starting to scream at you. There's problems. Now, on these individual indicators, looking at this crypto total market, excluding BTC and ETH, we're getting massive warning signals. Look at that divergence in MACD. Holy crap. Willie stupid, right? Look at the M in OBV here. Oh boy, that looks bad. This looks troublesome, folks. It really does. I think probably the only thing that'll really save this market, quote unquote, is if maybe Nvidia comes out and they absolutely have an obscene knock the cover off the ball earnings report tomorrow, and everybody's like, "Oh, no big deal. It's fluffy market continues." I don't know. You already know that your stop should be at scratch on that Nvidia short, the latest one now anyway. So you all know how to behave there. So final thought for you guys here today. What time is it? 11 o'clock. Yeah, that's pretty good. About an hour and a half or so. Pullbacks are buying opportunities, and there are tons of opportunities all over the place. But I cannot chase. I'm not allowed to chase. So, you saw all the overbought, oversold indicators. You saw the breadth indicator. You saw the broader market semiconductors not happy. It shouldn't surprise us that we pull up this sheet and go, "Oh boy, there's a bit of red on here today." It doesn't necessarily mean that this stuff is a short. I don't think this is a short. This is a terrible, terrible place to short. And if anything, I even had this conversation yesterday with people. Try and understand at any given point in time where we are on the broader cycles. So, is this part of the economic cycle that we want to be aggressively shorting? Anybody? Can anybody tell me? If you want to participate in venture capital, I mean, the good part about Eddie right there, he has learned through the school of hard knocks. He joined us at TRI heading into this peak, and of course, we were over there in Portugal having a great old time. And my favorite memory of Portugal is Eddie driving a motorcycle at about 60, 70 miles an hour in first gear. Still remember the look on Sailor's face. That was awesome. Hey, you don't need a crystal ball around here, Jim and Liz. That's the whole point. With no driving license. Mind you, I don't know which is a worse story. Hey, Chris, are you here? Chris, I gotta ask you. You know what's coming. Chris, are you here? I don't
I
know
am
whether
here.
there he is. So the question is, would you prefer to drive on the back of a motorcycle with Eddie or in the passenger seat of a car driven by Josh?
Oh, that's a hard one right there. I'd go with Eddie. Yeah, no, I'd go with Eddie.
Yeah, I'll take Eddie. Mind you, he doesn't have a driver's license, so if we get pulled over, we're dead. We're probably going to jail. And this is the stuff that keeps me coming back day in, day out. You people are so beautiful. I love you people. I really do. In fact, uh I don't know whether I should do this or not. Spirit is telling me I should do this. I had a bit of a falling out with the gentleman who was actually with us at TRI for a very, very long time. But unfortunately, the way sort of life goes, things happen. Um, and I got a note from him yesterday, and I was deeply, deeply touched. I won't name names, so he knows who he is. I don't know whether he's going to watch these kind of videos or not, but uh, I think I think this is important. Actually, I really should read this to you. It was such a powerful note, and it talks about the human spirit, uh, and really, I I think I have to read it. I'm sorry, dude. You know who you are. It was just so powerful. It brought me to tears. So he sent me a note. He came out of nowhere. We had a bit of a falling out. So he certainly didn't have to do it. And, this is the note he sent me. I want you all to hear it because it was just so incredible. He said, I want to let you know that I appreciate you and I have always been on team Brian. Sucks how things turned out. And while I think I've mostly put it behind me, it still makes my heart ache when I think about how things turned out after feeling like we were so close and I felt so at home at TRI. TRI always spoke to me because of how you resonated with me. Your teachings are exemplary. Thank you. And have proven valuable to me over and over again. But it's you as a person and your approach that I was always most drawn to. I think you and I are quite sensitive people in a way that isn't common in the trading world or maybe the world in general. And the more I grow as a person, I've come to appreciate that quality in myself. Sadly, it may be that our similarities in this regard is what triggered such the ending that we had. But no hard feelings. And I just wanted you to know that I love and respect you, that I'm proud of you and the time I spent working with you. That's a pretty powerful statement that person sent me. And thank you. I won't name names, but that was very touching. And good luck to you, sir. All the best. So, that's the kind of impact that I actually want to make. I want to, and I was going to sound tacky, but I want to touch your soul. This world is so plastic and it's so fake and it's so ungenuine. Um, I hope you can appreciate that. I put all of my heart and soul into this. And I have the best intentions for all of you. It's never malicious. There's never any malicious intent by this whole project. And I hope I can make a positive difference in your people's lives. That's the whole point of this exercise. And it makes me feel good that I know that this person I did what spirit asked me to do for that person, and I think that they're basically set for the rest of their lives. But at the same time too, we silly humans, we can get so emotionally charged and things can just get absolutely out of control, and after the fact you're like, why on earth did that go that way? So my apologies to you, sir. You know who you are, and I don't know whether you'll hear this after the fact, but if I have made a positive difference in each and every one of your lives, then I've done what I was meant to do here. And of course, because I am so emotional about this stuff, I'm going to have to blow my schnoz, which means I have to put you on mute. So sorry about that. So on that note, just try and be a good person. Don't chase. Don't let your emotions dictate how you spend money in the marketplace. Keep in mind that there are people that want to take your money away from you, and they will do anything that they can, including appealing to your emotional side. Well, get rich quick and all that kind of crap. We at TRI, our number one goal here is to teach you the process. And ironically enough, the process will get you to stop acting emotionally and start acting, hopefully, rationally. That's the whole point of this, the rational investor. Ironically enough, this image right here, if you can just learn this one image, then you know exactly when to participate and you know exactly what to participate in. And this image right here is telling you this is your opportunity. It is here now. The question is, will you act appropriately? You can't go and just chase up markets like this because this is actually getting dangerous. And you have to just be patient. Notice this moves up and down and up and down. And if you want to play for this from a position of strength, you actually have to step in and force yourself to get interested and active when we're going through these down phases. And of course, if you can learn how to buy W's, then it makes life hell of a lot easier. So as it is right now, based on this image, there's no way in hell I'm going to talk to you about getting out. There's no way I'm going to talk to you about shorting this unless it's like some sort of day trade or something. And if anything, you should all have your plans together and have your capital together, have what setups appeal to you. We had one setup called the Kavarkinator, which is absolutely awesome setup. And it still works today. And I would love to talk about it in the future. I'd even love to have Mr. Kavarkinator come on and tell you when his Kavarkinators fire. We'll see. Maybe if we're lucky. We never know this crazy life and the journey that we're on. But if you need help in trying to set yourself up to participate in this game correctly, that's, I think, what TRI is really, really good at. And I would actually ask all of you to seriously consider, if you've taken the education program, great, then I've already taught you, and that means you are an ambassador for good behavior. And your job now, number one, can you maybe tell a friend about TRI and maybe we can change their lives? But number two, you need to now go out and spread the good word. And I'll tell you, hand to God, if the amount of public interest in this site wanes and we get to the point where we can't even afford to pay for the company filings and the cost to even get these quotes and stuff to show you on the dashboard, and support staff and stuff, then we will have to dial this whole dream back. So in a weird sort of way, I'm going to ask that can you help TRI keep the message going, keep the mission going? Maybe it's just something as simple as you just signing up for the silver site subscription, which I think is excellent value, and it'll keep you honest, and you can continue to participate in everything TRI does, inside the site and stuff. Maybe it means that you can step up and help us with a full site membership and subscribe to the dashboard and all the fun signaling tools and stuff that we offer. And hopefully I'm showing you our value on a daily basis. Maybe it means that you have a friend or a family member that really wants to learn how to trade and become a professional and act professionally in the marketplace. And you either suggest to them to sign up for the school program, or maybe you go and buy a school program for them. I don't know. I will tell you though, don't give anybody any of this stuff for free. Like if you're going to gift it to somebody, at least get them to put some money into it themselves simply because, and this is the reason why I don't give away school seats, is anybody who gets the education program for free, and I can even speak to my um, people in my history that have gotten this education program for free because I was being generous and wanted them to learn. They never learn. They don't take it seriously and they don't apply the concepts. So anyway, so it's a bit of a cheesy sales pitch. I'm really sorry. I didn't really expect to go this way. Interesting. Somebody saying that I'm being muted here. That's kind of odd. But the point here is opportunity is now here. Get your act together. Life-changing events. Help TRI. Help the world. And let's see if we can educate and let people just help themselves in this very, very difficult world right now. All right. Public service message is done. Hope you guys got some value out of that. I suppose I'll leave you off with a final treat. Went and bought a piece of poo Solana name here this morning because some clown who's always in the day trading room is always trying to get me to buy his crappy shit coins. Just kidding. What did we buy today, Adam? We bought something. What the hell was it that we bought? We bought where the hell is it? I even added it to the watch list here this morning. It's probably lock limit down now. But we went and bought something this morning. What the hell did we buy here this morning? We bought Costco. That's right. There you go. We went and bought actually, why don't I see it on here? This sort alphabetically. Cost, there it is. So here's a fun little treat for you. Went through I think $20, $30, something like that. At this little Costco coin. You tell me. What's hilarious about this is a 50% retracement, which is pretty common in the market. It's nothing out of the ordinary. That will be a 10x on this damn thing. So hopefully you can see the W. When I saw the W and Adam mentioned it to me, I was like, all right, fine, I'll go and buy some. I like W's. And so I went and added that to the pile. So there you go. All right. Gave you 2 stocks that I bought today. We talked a little bit about ETFs and market messages and utilities and healthcare names. One of the stocks that I bought was in the pharma sector. And we also gave you a little piece of shit coin here you could consider if you want to participate and join me on the trade. You're more than welcome. I will never tell you what to buy or sell. If you want to join me on the trade, as I said, you're more than welcome, but just understand the risks that are involved if you do actually decide to play this space. And this is just having fun in the marketplace, just making money from trading. All right, everybody, have yourselves a great day. Slow and steady wins the race. PMA for the win. Costco hot dog. I got to remember that. So all the best and bye for now.